There is a life force, a vitality, an energy, quickening, that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all of time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will not exist in any other medium, and it will be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable, nor how it compares to the expressions of others. It is your business to keep it yours, clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. You do not even have to believe in yourself or your work. You have to stay open and aware to the urges that motivate you. Keep the channel open. No artist is pleased. There is no satisfaction whatever at any point. There's only a queer divine dissatisfaction, blessed unrest. Keeps us marching and makes us more alive than others. Martha Graham.
Hey.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
How are you really doing?
Well, it's complicated. There's layers to it. There's strata.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like on a day, do you ever feel like it changes like day to day, hour by hour?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'd have to say yes to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's so many conversations that happen, and it can feel a little fake sometimes. And since it's just you and me here, I was thinking it'd be good to really get real, just one-on-one, just really have a personal conversation. Nobody has to see this, hear about it. Let's just really go deep. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I'm into it.
Okay.
I'm down.
Well, there's something really important that I've been wanting to express, and
there's a knock at the door.
Were you expecting someone?
Oh, what's up, guys?
Oh,
it's Will.
look who's here.
Oh my God. What's up, dude?
Just jump in and see what you guys are up to today.
Yeah, how are you? It's good to see you. Thanks for the total surprise.
Nice new place you got here.
Thank you. Yeah, welcome to my little parlette.
Oh, parlette. It's female?
The parlette. No, it's just small. It's petite.
Oh. I thought maybe parlor was the male version of.
You know what?
Parlor,
I mean, honestly, if we're gonna
is-
gender them, this one's definitely.
It's
I would say
definitely
female.
more femme. I like
Yeah, kind of she, her.
Really? I mean, I don't think there's some pretty strong masculine. I mean, there's a burning car behind Will's.
Well, what's that
Yeah,
feminine
maybe
about
this is
that?
more parlor.
Parlor. It's parlette.
Parlette.
All right, it's parlette.
How's it going, guys? I just want to jump in and see what you're doing. Got off work early.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just hanging out. We were about to have the most vulnerable conversation of our lives, but we'll just put that
should I
on
come
hold.
back?
No, we just do it right
honestly,
here
you
with
should join
Yeah,
us.
let's
You
just-
should.
yeah.
We should have it together.
To get vulnerable?
Yeah. To get real deep, cut the fake shit.
Do that
No
for a minute?
performative. Don't you?
Here, I'll start
performative.
I'll start with something real. Caught a movie last night.
Okay.
Caught a little flick.
Mm.
Went to my favorite theater, Will Retherford's house. And
This guy's house, genuinely, I gotta
actually-
say, today, while I was just doing work today, I was thinking about I was thinking about your sound system. I'm rolling up the carpet, and I'm just like, God damn, those subs were knocking.
It's kind of like the antithesis of the parlor, but
Yeah.
it works.
The theater.
Yeah,
the
the
It's the most bachelor thing I've ever done, but I don't regret it one
Hell
second.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Anyway,
Shout out to
it was the world
bachelorism.
premiere of Will's film that you...
It's like world premiere, but close friends.
the Tulsa world premiere.
That's right.
I was
People who
lucky-
are a part of the production got to see it for the first time last night.
Yes, and
How do you feel about that?
Honestly, people kept saying, were you so nervous? Were you just feeling sick last night? I was like, no, I was so excited and happy to watch what we did.
it was
because
great.
everyone crushed
Trueson
it.
was one of the stars,
thanks.
along with Joy Bruin and a host of other great people. And I'll be honest, I'm not afraid to say this because I talked to both of you separately. After that, first of all, I've witnessed some of the production at O Studio, which was great. And I was excited to see it. And then you guys started getting into the footage. And like I talked to Trueson and he was like, "Oh, I don't know, man. You know, it's a little different. Like it felt good in the moment, but I was watching that back and I'm not so sure." And like I talked to Will and he's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be a long process to make this watchable." I'm afraid. So I was like kind of bracing, you know, like I was bracing myself for anything. And I thought it was genuinely great. You guys, I think you guys both feel better about it than you did when you originally started working on it. But I think you said it's like 95% done. Like, fuck it. I mean, well done, both of you guys. It's really, really great.
Yeah, well, when you talked to me and Trueson, my answer was probably reflecting of looking at the pile of work we had to do to get this to the finish line. And when you talked to Trueson probably saw probably had seen like the first rough draft of some of his lines and some of the scenes that really needed to be reworked, but also it didn't sound good yet. So we all had to use our imagination for months. Like, I know this will be good once the sound is better, but I have to pretend that it's good.
It is, by the way, that is like, this is the thing in one of my film classes years ago. I took one film class and the teacher early on said like, you can do without, basically the sound is the one thing you can't continue without. Like you can function in black and white, crappy color, out of focus, fuzzy, like, and still have an interesting story that you can tell, a narrative, but you gotta have good sound. And, and it's so deceptive when you're not in the trade of filmmaking or whatever, because all you really notice is the visuals. Yeah. But the sound is this whole other world that like...
It makes you feel differently about what you're looking at.
Golly, I mean, you can see I'm like, it really makes a huge difference. So if you're...
I also think like from like the acting perspective, it's like you said you did each scene like 8, 9, 10 times. So you're looking at your performance, like not all of them are as good as the others. And so you're looking at like 30 minutes of footage that in the film is going to be one facial expression or one line delivery. And like, I'm sure that like...
not any of the 8 takes was there like... And I think this is probably true unless you're like a very, very experienced actor. There wasn't really any of the 8 takes that was great from start to finish. It was like, this line was delivered awesome, and then this one was weak, and then this one was great. So in the editing room, there's a lot of like having to put puzzle pieces together, like taking Trueson's response from take 7, but then using Joy's response from take 4, but then putting them together and making it feel like one take, not like 2 separate takes. And that's like the trick with editing. But if you have a lot of takes, you usually do have a lot of like options to work with and a lot of directions you can go based off those takes.
Well, shout out to Logan Miller, who was the incredible director of photography, editor. I know you guys collaborated throughout the process, but like what a gift Logan is to our community and our friend group and everything. And then Logan Bruin, speaking of sound, like just really inspired. And I know Josh Fudge and Tyler Sexton and Olivia McGraw and Chris Combs and so many people came together, and it's just like, I feel like it's become cliche to be like, no, it was inspiring, but like it was inspiring. It was really inspiring to watch something that, and obviously
our crew can do something like this.
Yeah. And obviously like everyone's, creative output speaks for themselves, but there is something about like a film that everyone comes together on, and that's such a huge undertaking, and it's, 200 plus hours just in the post-production. I mean, it's just on a different scale. And it makes me feel like there's so much more that we can do.
Well, what's so fun, my favorite thing about filmmaking, and this is like the producer talking, and Trueson, you said this before, like film being the highest art form that exists. A lot of people say that because it's not one single art form. It is using the best of all categories and bringing them together to make a thing together, which is like the coolest part. So
it's like the ultimate form of storytelling.
Yeah, it's like bringing together incredible choreography. Joy, who is a choreographer, having an actual painting in the film, casting Trueson, who's also a painter. Logan Miller, who I've been working with for 3 years, and same with Logan Bruin. I've been working on them for the last few years making music production and visuals. But in the back of my mind, I was like, we're gonna do a film because they're just both like top of their class in what they do. And as a producer, it's so much fun because you get to like pick out all of the people who are at the top of their class and all unite around one story, one vision, one project, and accomplish it together. And if everyone is like taking their lane, their job seriously, you do get a good film because every single person matters, like in the mix of, in the melting pot.
Yeah, it's such a collaborative thing. You know, it's like a way of, it uses expression, performance, it uses sound, you know, all those things. But yeah, requires everybody together.
I'm curious. So Will and I, we had a business trip a few weeks ago. We had to go.
Had to.
There was no choice.
No one would have done the work.
Yeah, we had to go out to California. We had to go to an event called Neon Carnival.
Had to do it.
It was a necessity of our work.
Yeah, what is Neon Carnival?
So we basically went to a Coachella after party,
And skip Coachella.
but we did not go to Coachella. So we were like, we got to this event and it was like some kind of, I mean, Will has his, Will's in the Illuminati with his podcasting company. So he got us invited into this special party. Yeah, throw the diamond up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And we went and it was cool. It was like they literally set up a carnival and we got to go down the super slide and we got to do bumper cars and, you know, Channel Trace DJ.
Yeah,
which was,
there was
Channel
just us and a
Trace.
couple hundred people before thousands arrived.
Yeah.
And so we got the carnival all to ourselves for a while, and I had our own Channel Trace DJ set for
was-
an hour and a half.
Oh, that's
no
sick.
before anyone really got there.
It was super dope. But what I know Will knows exactly what
do I?
where I'm gonna go to, because while we were at this party, like we were dancing, we were vibing, we were hanging out, and like Will, like probably like once every like 15 to 20 minutes, Will would come over to me and be like, I just feel like I'm stuck between being an artist and a producer. Like I don't know if I'm an artist or if I'm a producer. So
We were also, on certain substances that make us really go internal and outward
there
process.
was, like I said, there was an open bar. So, but I was giving you shit because like you kept saying that as if it was like a new epiphany that you hadn't already said to me 5 different times. But I feel like this podcast might be like a good forum to dig into that sort of existential question because like, it speaks to like the way that you define yourself, the way that you think of yourself. I mean, I think being a producer is being an artist. But have you thought more? Like,
Wait, being a producer is an artist, then what's an artist? I mean, is there...
well, like if you think about like a
category of
producer,
artistry.
like a producer of a film is like, okay, I want this person to direct and like this person's going to do the audio. Like a lot of like in my role as like a creative producer, it's like you're building a team around a project and you're kind of like,
You've blueprinted a vision and then
Yeah.
you're getting people together to, so it is like an executive level of artistry in some senses because it's not necessarily, you're not the one doing the painting, but it takes a creative brain to know what you want to build, what you want to shoot, what you want to do. And it does take a creative brain to know who can actually pull that off and who would be good at it.
but I wanted to bring this up because it felt like you were really wrestling with like sort of an existential dilemma. and I'm not making light of that. Like it's like, I think you were kind of like confronting, how you think of yourself and what you want to put energy into moving forward. And I wonder, since it's been a few weeks since we went there, if you've had any time to integrate, if you've like wrestled, have you continued to wrestle with that question like in the last few weeks?
I think it's kind of a question I probably am always wrestling with, but I'm becoming more and more comfortable with not being able to quite answer it. I remember we were eating chips and salsa and I was like almost in tears. I was like, I spend my whole life producing everybody and no one produces me. But in some senses it's funny because it's like, yeah, as an artist, an artist sometimes will have someone who is producing them or hiring them to do a job or giving them the validation of you actor, you dancer, you so-and-so. I see your artistry.
Giving a place for
and
them. It's like, here's a space, go
here's
do
an
the
open
thing.
door,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So yeah, it's like, and I've lived my life so much as a producer and then producing my own work. And then, yeah, sometimes it's like I get caught between, like, you see other artists who just roll up as artists. They're just artists, right? Like, they're gonna always be in a fit. They're gonna always be like artist mode. And then like, but a producer can be like that, but is often just so much like in the curation of everything that's going on and is in the logistics behind the scenes, making things happen, but also being an artist. So it's kind of like a type of artist is how I would distinguish like a producer.
There's a certain kind of like cognitive load you have to be able to handle as a producer that
But like a lot of
not every
actors
artist
now
does.
move into, if you watch movies, you'll see like Ryan Gosling, producer, Brad Pitt, producer. And all that means is that they are on a decision, like a level of decision making about the project. Like they have enough clout, experience, and credibility to say, as a producer of the film, I think my character needs to be an alcoholic going through sobriety. I really want that to be a part of the film. And it's like, so it's really kind of like starting
Or
to
they're
make
friends
decisions.
with a really great
Yeah.
cinematographer, and they'll make the phone call that gets that person attached to the project or whatever. Yeah.
They're making it happen. So I think in a lot of ways, artists are producers. I just happen to be someone who like does producing professionally, and is also making art outside of any of the production I do for work. So yeah, it does. I do kind of feel like I'm constantly living in between artist and producer, but I've gotten more comfortable with this idea of I am integrating. I'm not three things: an aspiring filmmaker, a podcast producer, and a indie pop star artist. I am.
You're not an indie pop star.
I'm not a pop star at all, or a star. But like, instead of being three different things, I am all three at once. I am a producer who is an artist who has these methods of creation, you know?
Yeah, there's an interesting idea of like, we are the thing we are in the moment, only for that moment. We're not like, you're an artist when you're making art, and then you're a producer when you're producing art, and then you're a pop star when you're pop starring.
When you're performing the art.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's kind of this idea of like permanence that we often latch onto with identity to kind of, support some feeling that we are what we're supposed to be or what we'd like to think that we are, or whatever it is, and labels and all that. But I think, I don't know. What I'm hearing you say as far as like integrating it to be all of those things.
Well, I think what you're saying is true. Like, you are what you do. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's easy to get in your head about, like, am I this? Am I this? Am I that? Am I that? Mm-hmm. What are you, like, where does your time go? Where does your energy go? Mm-hmm. Like that, what is your creative output? Like that kind of tells you who you are. And I think more so than like your thoughts about it, but I think that like there's definitely been times where I've been teetering between two identities, and it's like, in order to like make the new identity real, like you have to do the thing. And
yep.
I think like, Will, I mean, in your case, I don't know how that lands with you, because I see you doing both. It's not like you're just starting to like be an artist, but like you've been making music for, your whole life, and, you put out an album, as San Diego last year. You've got a lot of new music that's come out this year, the film, and your like, it's not like you're just crossing that threshold, but maybe you're looking to how you want to, like, where you want more of your time to go to over the next like 10 years of your life.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to carve out. Like, in a simple way, I've been starting to tell people I produce I run a podcast agency and produce podcasts professionally for money. Saynt Ego is my art form, and I'm an aspiring filmmaker. I like to be doing that full time 10 years from now. So that's like the easiest way. It's like, this is what I do for money professionally. This is what I do for my artistry, personal artistry. And this is the bigger vision of where I'm trying to go, like down the road from here. And that makes me feel better in being like, is Will trying to be a podcast producer or a indie electronic artist or a movie guy? Pick a lane, bro. You know, it's like, no one needs to pick a lane anymore. That's not how the world works.
Yeah.
Like, Steve from Stranger Things is on the radio every couple hours on 106.9. So, you know what I mean? Like, Lady Gaga is a producer and a pop star and an actress. Everybody is all things.
I feel like I have the opposite problem. Like, I struggle to be defined by anything, even with like regards to like I like being a filmmaker. That would be great, but I'm like, but I don't want to only be a film. Like, I kind of like take comfort in the producer tag because it is sort of all encompassing, and my existential dilemma has been like, is that a safety protection mechanism to keep me from like diving too deep into any one area? Like, you guys know I worked on a screenplay. We're starting to work on or moving towards like production of a couple of the scenes, and like that's been really great and gratifying for me. But I'm also like, I have resistance to just like being like, okay, and now I'm a screenwriter, and now I'm, you know, like I like,
yeah,
you know, so
that's such a, there's so much, I think about this like space all the time of like, when it comes to the label of like being an artist, are you an artist, not an artist? Are you a screenwriter, not a screenwriter? Are you all those things? And some of them the point is, what I think we're really asking is to give yourself that title, you expect a certain kind of prestige that might come with it if you think that. But I say that's not the case. You can be a shitty artist and still be an artist. You can be an inexperienced artist that's still an art. Like, being good doesn't make you, like, you can be a screenwriter who's never completed a screenplay.
What about the word a? You know, like, versus like, I've practiced screenwriting. I've been dabbling in screenwriting, or, you know, I feel like I am a screenwriter. There should be some sort of, to not disrespect real screenwriters, just to be slapping on screenwriters. You get a screenwriter tag, you get a screenwriter tag, you know. So there's, I do try to take that seriously in some senses. Like, I added director on my Instagram bio, and I was like, I've only directed one movie. Why would I? Maybe I feel like imposter syndrome of adding that title.
But the thing is, like, if you did it, you did it. And that's the thing. It's like, if you have never written a screenplay, you're not a screenwriter. If you've completed a screenplay, it doesn't have to have been successful. It doesn't even have to be good. You just completed a screenplay by definition. And so as a director, you have directed a film. Now, you are maybe an amateur in the sense that you've only done one. But that doesn't make you not the thing. If you're like a basketball player on the field, you are playing basketball.
The court, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry, the court. If it's in your hand and the game is running, you are playing the game. Yeah. And so often we like to think that...
Yeah, but you don't just go put basketball player in your bio.
Okay. See, this is a completely different... This is a different thing. It's like...
If you joined a basketball team, you've never played basketball before, are you a basketball player? Or are you just playing basketball once?
Well, here's the thing. It comes down to this. If somebody asks you your relation to basketball, you could say, I play basketball. If you play it. If you don't play it, then you're like, well, I don't really play basketball. I've played it.
But what about a basketball player? You know, the difference?
In that moment, if you're playing, you are a player. But afterward, you're not a player anymore. You can't say like, oh, I'm currently, like, I can't say that Trueson's currently a basketball player right now.
So am I still a director, or was I just a director last fall?
You get the past tense. It does apply.
Okay.
Because you did direct, and so saying you're a director in this past tense is true. I can't say that I have not, other than if you count my TikTok videos, maybe I'm a director. But I haven't directed like a feature film with sound and all kind of stuff.
You're very direct.
I speak really loud. I shout all the time. Yeah. I think directors do that, right? Doesn't that count?
Yeah, and maybe I'm probably overthinking the label thing, but in
But
some
I-
senses, I don't want to just be like, I'm a director now, and then people who have been directing for 20 years are like, I worked really hard for that director badge, and you've just done one. What gives you the right to just slap on direct? So I try to be thoughtful of people who are like bleeding and sweating over that time.
Yeah,
But I
there's
think there's
always-
even a
you'll
critique for
always be able
them.
to pull, like, there's always, that's just comparison.
Yeah.
There's always someone that's more successful than you. Like, you act in 10 films, you're like, well, I haven't won an Oscar, so am I really an actor or whatever? There's always like that thing that you can,
And see,
you can get to.
that's the thing, and I feel like it comes down to like, this goes back to art. To be an artist is to practice art, is like to be doing it. And so a lot of people get obsessed with that, what it creates for them in this world outside of their studio, their practice, or their art, because they're pursuing art because of some secondary thing. They want fame or money or success or clout or whatever they're interested in. And the art is an avenue to get them there. And those people are what you call a poser. The artist is there for the art. They're there to do the fucking shit. And if you're there, whether you're the billionist era level of top Scorsese type shit, or like the guy with just him and his homies in their garage making puppets or whatever, like you're still doing it. And some of those people who have huge access and giant portfolios or whatever, stop doing it. They go back to being a poser. They're not really directing. They're not really writing. They're like, oh, well, this is my job. I make the money and we're going to make
I
the
think
Kool-Aid film.
There might be more.
I feel like there's some real, to me, it's like either you're a real one or you're, if we're going to create those kind of boundaries of what's an artist, what's a director, what's a writer, is like if you're consistently writing, if you're in it, like that's where you're at, then that's where you're at. You're a writer. And like to be published is to be a published writer. And to have a successful film and a publish and a title and is to like all of those things. But I think that we often will start, this is kind of the failure trap of the poser, I think, is that you want to get to the end of, well, I want to be the guy with the desk and the executive and the cool thing. I don't actually want to do the thing, which is to just be looking through a camera lens all day. That sucks. So I'm going to have to bear that bullshit to then get to the point. And then you're a fucking poser. So you could still get there, right? Where you like do the film and you make some things and there's some success to like chase the bigger thing. But if you're really about it, you're doing it. You don't care about the success title. You don't care about how many people see it or not. You're interested in saying, okay, let's do it again. Take 15. All right, like fretting over the sound. And
there's
the music.
another type of person. I mean, there's the real artist and there's the poser. And I think like I find myself sometimes in the middle of those two extremes sometimes, because I'm the one that is like aware that I had like sort of blocked my own creative expression. And so I've been trying to like recapture the flame of like staying inspired. And like, so I wrote a screenplay, I finished it, and then it's like, not only like it's exhausting in terms of like the time that you spend, like to like finish that, I had to like wake up early every day and I had to spend the first like 3 or 4 hours of my day for like a couple of months, like putting energy into that before I did anything else. Cause what I found was like, I had the desire to be creative, but then I was like, okay, and I'll do it after work. And then you get to after work and then you have dinner and then Survivor is on tonight. And then, and then it never happened. So, and not only that, it's like the material that you're working with, it is emotional. It's like, I'm in a lot of ways like writing about my life or things that are like, so it's like kind of like emotionally exhausting. And, and so when I finished the script, it's like, I like kind of went back into dormancy for like a few months afterwards, just to like kind of like catch my breath. And I look at people like, both of you guys, and it's just like, I think that there are people that like are creative, like it's just like a river that is constantly flowing, and or at least my perception, maybe your experience is different. And then that it's like, you are just moved to create, and like I have to make art, and it's like I have to make myself make art. And I don't think that that's a lesser form of creativity, but I think it is like different types of creative person. I think there's people that like your Achilles heel is that you create too much. And then like there's people that, the Achilles heel is that like you really have to like have the discipline to like keep doing it, even though it's a lot of time spent, even though it's like emotional material, even though self-doubt comes up, and you have to like, you know, continuing to push through those personal blocks is exhausting, you know, and, you know, I wonder like how that shows up for both of you guys. Cause again, I perceive you guys as both prolific and I would not call myself prolific, you know, in terms of like my creative output. But do you guys find yourselves like pushing through blocks? Like, do you find it emotionally draining to like keep making art like every single day?
For me personally, all the time.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. It's exhausting. What about you?
Well, same way. I mean, it's not a yes or no question.
Yeah, I mean, I find
exhausting.
Yeah, no, I personally find it exhausting. It's a strange thing. It is exhausting when I'm excited, when I'm not excited. Like, no matter how I do it, it's exhausting, and it usually hits me in different ways. And it can be exhausting because when I'm really excited and I'm proud and I think there's something valuable there, I get exhausted when I'm starting to steer back into my humanity and my normalcy of like what I'm really capable of, where my skill versus vision gap is. And the thing is always, that's always interesting to me, is always like right on the other side of where my skill is. I think this is probably universal for all of us as artists or creatives or anything, even like basketball as an idea. You want to hit it in the threes is cool. That's what gets you to run the drills, but the reality is like you can't shoot like that. And so for me as a painter, I'm constantly trying to paint a painting I can't paint yet. And I haven't done, because I don't have those skills. So that's exhausting. It's exhausting to try to like almost, you know, attempt and fail, and then go back into the lab and then research and study and then do more practice I'm just wasting, I'm not getting to like the end payoff. And that's the thing I think about art is like, you have to have the acceptance that if you are doing this for the end payoff, go pick something else, man. Because like the whole thing is that. It is this weird moment where almost like masochism, where like you get into like an exercise or working out or grind, this like feeling of pushing what you know how to do, where you know you're trying to get, seeing where you can't take it, and then how to navigate and steer it around what your limitations are, whether it's technology, time, ability, awareness, attention, whatever it is, to guide yourself toward creating something that is valuable to anybody besides just yourself. But if not, at least valuable to you, which isn't even easy to do. Often you'll make stuff and you're just like, this shit is trash. Majority of the art made, I think in general, is worth forgetting. It's very rare that we ever like touch the clouds and like break something out. Every artist, if you look at their catalog, it's a small percentage. It's maybe like 9 to 10% of their total output is like the stuff anyone really cares about.
That's what any successful artist would typically
That's just how it
say.
is in life. If you think of one day, you'll have some days that are like the best day of your life, and then the most of it is like, shit, I can't remember what you did on this day in particular. Or if I just picked one out of the year, you're like, how the fuck am I supposed to know? Like, it's the day you were at Bonnaroo. You're like, oh, I remember.
Yeah, we're back to the hundreds of hours of raw footage and for the 30-second clip. You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so exhausting, yes, but also just like I've accepted that like I'm just gonna probably be in a state of exhaustion from here on out forever. Just seems to be.
There's a kind of relaxing.
I'm never not tired anymore.
Yeah, you just like kind of like ride the exhaustion in a way where it's like.
I never thought I'd be putting my art days in my Google Calendar, but that's what I have to do now. And what's nice about that is because I work from home, and so typically, if I were to be creative at home, I would be creating where I work all day long, and that's actually kind of hard for me. I've done it for years. I did it for years. I used to make my own demos, but now I don't really even like having kids and barely getting to bed at a good time. I don't really have as much time to make 20 or 30 shit demos. So it's better for my time to like schedule a time to leave my house, go to Logan Bruin's house, and to make a demo there instead, because that demo is gonna we're either going to realize very quickly that this is shit and let's start something new, or we're going to chase an idea that we both love and work on it all day. And then instead of just having a demo that I'll eventually get back to, I have a working song that I have to finish. So that's what's helpful for me with Saynt Ego now is, and when I have Logan's usually like a couple weeks out. So I'm like, I'm itching for a day to be creative. So I'm going to get on Logan's calendar 2 weeks from now. And then, so now I have 2 weeks to be like thinking about what I want to write about, listening to music, writing ideas, singing some hums in the shower. I'm like so excited because like I have a day blocked off to be creative. And by the time the day comes, the inspiration is there because I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this day that I blocked off in my Google Calendar to be creative today. So that's what's working for me now is to like schedule time on my Google Calendar outside of my home in a different place with someone else so that we can make something other than just scratch art. Like we're going to at least make something worth pursuing.
Yeah.
It's like a state of being. It sounds like you're like in that space in the shower, in the car.
There's accountability in having other people to work with and like, writing a screenplay. The reason I did it is because it's a solo activity. I've been very comfortable. I've not been caught between being an artist and producer. I've been like very comfortable being a producer and like
a writer,
building everything where I'm just like building a team or running a creative team. And so I was like, I feel like I need to do something that's like just me and a page and like the only accountability is to myself. And, but there is something about like honestly, like we had this podcast scheduled this week. I was just feeling kind of like lower energy the other days this week, but then like, I feel like more like sharp and alive today. And I think it's because I knew I needed to do this. And like, I knew I had other people coming and I like, so there is like something about working with other people that can like bring it out of you a little bit more and sort of like that kind of sense of obligation to others. But yeah, I'm trying to like find the balance, man. It's like there is like a very long list of things that I should be doing.
Always.
Meaning I should be exercising, I should be meditating, I should be reading, I should be doing a good job at the work that pays me, I should be being a good partner, I should be spending more time with my nieces and nephews, I should be going on vacations, it's like, and then just within self-care, there's like, all the things, and it's like, it can feel and then creativity is, I should be writing, I should be making things.
With what time?
It's not just time, but it's like, it's almost like spinning plates that you're trying to keep up, where it's just like, I don't know if I can read and meditate and be creative and be a good partner and, go to the gym and, play with I don't know if I can do all those things. So
play with your what?
My dogs. Yeah.
Well, you can't be doing all of those at the same time ever, can you?
Well, literally not at the same time, but even in the same season. So it's like, I'll have seasons where it's like, okay, I have 3 hours in the morning that's just for me. Like I can either use that time to read and meditate, or I can use that time to write, or I can use that time to go to the gym. But I literally can't do all of them. But then, there is this sort of like, I want to be the best version of myself, and I want to reach my full potential, and I want to so you're always like, even so on the days where I'm like, wow, I wrote for 3 hours today. It's like, yeah, but I didn't read anything. I didn't meditate today. I didn't go to the gym. It's like, there's always something to feel bad about yourself for not doing, whether it's art or wellness or whatever.
And I mean, I think you guys probably can all relate to this, Trueson, as well. Like there is like, it is kind of categorical in a lot of ways. Like this is a season of writing, this is a season of producing, and this is a season of editing, right? And so like a lot of it, I mean, you can be doing a little bit of all of it in each season, but like I think in a lot of ways, like one kind of consumes more time than the other, whether you're doing one or the other. So maybe you are in a writing season, but maybe now you're more in an editing season. Like you have the script done, and so now you are playing with the script, you are tweaking the script, you are having people read the script, you're actualizing it, you're starting to move into production, and you're like in the editing, you're not in the writing anymore. And I've been telling, I wanted to have another film finished, written by this fall, so we could like do it all again. But I have a good idea, but I've been incapable of writing that idea until I finished Penny, until Penny was done. And now, once we wrap Penny 100%, I feel like there's going to be a part of my brain released, ready to go into writing mode again.
Oh yeah.
And writing mode is also something I have to schedule. So it's like, okay, instead of going to the gym today, I'm dropping my kids off at school and I'm driving over to Pony Coffee, and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to like go at it for the next 3 or 4 hours. Or if I'm inspired, I'm a night owl, so if I'm inspired at night, I might utilize that to my advantage and try to.
I feel like that's what it takes to be prolific. If you were like, you use that word, and I think like the people who probably are the best at it are really good at navigating how to keep themselves with making output, and how to like what it takes to create that environment to like be productive. And if it is seasonal, right? If you look at the long term over the course of 10 years, how many films will have been made, right? It's going to be, right? If we look at just today, it's like, well, are we doing it? If yes, then we're doing it. We're here, we're filmmaking. But yeah, if you like the idea of like being a long-term filmmaker as well, you have to get, or artist or painter or musician or whatever. It seems like you in order to do that will have to like be flexible and navigate around that. Like it has to be.
And you're always going to be needing to be working on the next project a little bit in the background while you're working on the current project. They always say like, if you don't have another project to go into after you finish one, it's what's the term? The depressive term that you get after you have a baby.
Postpartum.
Yeah, you don't have a project cooking inside
my
of you.
God.
After one ends, you'll quickly go into postpartum, and so a lot of people will be. That's why you see a lot of directors who are addicted. Like Ridley Scott knocked out like 4 or 5 films within 2 years because he just went from one set to the next set, the next set. I'm not saying that's healthy or good, but some people at least need to be like. Have the next thing ready to go.
I think there's something to be said for like oscillating between input and output. So like I've had a lot of like big projects that I've worked on that have like taken over my life for like a whole year or more, and then it's like all output for like 2 years, and then it's like, okay, I'm going to take 3 months off, and then it's like input. Then I am like reading a lot, or I am just like spending time with friends, or I am going on a vacation, and like that's all just like input. And maybe like I think that at least for me, you need the sort of like empty space to allow something new to emerge, unless you're just like really tapped into the mainframe and like the ideas are just like
When typically it's like I have so many ideas here. And it's about which one is supposed to be next, or maybe there's not supposed, but maybe which one is speaking to you.
I always like struggle with like, or the question I always like ask myself is like, what's the most alive thing, And so I also have like a list of ideas, but yeah, I mean, it's like the best idea is like the newest idea often, because that's the thing
that's what people think.
Yeah. Well,
the one that's guiding you.
Or the best idea is the one that you're motivated to put energy into. You know what I mean? It's like you have over here all these ideas where it feels like you're pushing a boulder up a hill. And then over here is this idea that like actually feels exciting and fun and like play. Well, you should probably do the one that feels like play, unless, I do think that there are the times where like the project that is maybe like deeper or more challenging is the one like that could also be a form of like resistance or avoiding the hard thing, which is
also... Well, like when I was when I started writing Penny, I had like a handful of other scripts that I have written and ideas that I had come to me in dreams. A few projects that I'm like, this is a big one day. But when it's like, when you're trying to make that first step, that first scary step, what film do you do, right? And so I knew that I wanted to do something that like my goal when I talked with Logan Miller and Joy, they were the first two that I talked to about making a film. Our first goal was we want to learn how to make film. We want to learn the process. Second goal was make an actually good thing. So first one was learn how to make a film. Second was make a good film. And so when I was sitting with Penny, I knew I wanted to write something with Joy that involved dancing. I had Trueson in my head for a long time as a potential actor. I've seen Trueson, you do a lot of performances. You have a very distinct look. I was like, I think you could get into acting. So I knew I wanted to work with you. And when I sat down, I was like, what is actually possible for a first-time film? Like, what can we actually pull off and be good? And that was when I started thinking about utilizing Joy's actual craft, which is dancing, one of Trueson's actual crafts, which is painting, and write a story revolving around the things that are already so good about them that they can portray on the screen. And I think we did it. We actually, we wrote a pretty simple script, but we're able to, sound design the shit out of it and make it sound amazing and really shoot amazing dancing and really, the painting you made of Penny, really give it some incredible screen time. And it was like, cool. We can make film. Okay, what is the next step? And so for me and Logan, the way we talk about film is like, what is the next challenge that we're interested in taking on and learning in the process of filming? So yeah, we want to always make something better than we made before. We want to level up, but you also want to you have to learn as you do it. So you want to almost identify a new challenge. And so something that we're interested in for working on your film is something that we realized was really hard in Penny was actually pulling off good dialogue scenes. Pulling off good dialogue scenes is harder than you think because you don't want dialogue scenes to feel like anyone is acting. But there's a bunch of lines and people are going to be acting lines. So it's so easy for it to feel like acting versus it feeling like, is this the way that people actually talk in real life if they're at a restaurant? So yeah, me and Logan want to focus on dialogue, which was really exciting. You bringing us your script because it's a heavy dialogue film. And so it's cool. That's a new challenge that we can really
Penny, the subheading is a portrait in motion. Is that right? Yeah. So it's obviously it's very style and very stylized, very just beautiful shot, extended dancing scene that and a lot of films would have been shorter, but it's the point is to watch the dance, and I'm really drawn to words, and a lot of my a lot of my favorite filmmakers and screenwriters are people like Richard Linklater, who are really known for writing really long scenes of conversation between people that you forget you're watching a movie and it feels like real people are talking. And so yeah, it's cool that it's lined up because I wrote this thing. I've pitched it to you guys, and it's cool that it's the kind of project that is stretching you guys into the next area that you want to explore. And we've been doing some screen tests, where we're just having actors read the dialogue, and that's super helpful to because sometimes what's on the page reads really well as natural dialogue, and then you get real people saying the things out loud, and you quickly identify things to add and subtract.
That's been a fun process doing that with you.
I also have identified Trueson as an actor, and
sick. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
I mean, what's more fun than working with all your friends and
Well, that's what a lot of people within movie crews do, and that's what Sterling's done here in Tulsa. Like, your community is the people that you do the project with.
Yeah.
And like, what better than people that you have done life with, that you do life with every day, and that you can trust, right? Because there's a lot of people out there you can't trust, and it's a process of vetting is never fun. And so like, you know, we like Trueson recommended someone for our team that ended up being a perfect fit. And it was like our trust in Trueson was able to take his recommendation and find a perfect fit for a hole in the production team that we needed. And that's the way, and now that person's fam. So
I'm always like really inspired by like stories of creative communities where people do amazing things with the people that just happen to be in proximity to them. Like, this is like the story of Motown. This is the story of like psychedelic folk music in the 1960s with Laurel Canyon. This is the story of like New York indie rock in the early 2000s. It's like all these artists just were like living next door to each other, and they were friends, and then like a scene develops, and like, you know,
I've been feeling that in this space. So I just moved here at
Into
WAMPA,
WAMPA,
into
yeah, okay.
WAMPA, and I'm paint behind this wall, and across the hall from me is Skip Hill, who's he's
he's been a guest on the show.
Yeah, he's been a guest on the show. And
friend of the show.
Yeah, he's
Friend
been
of
on
the
the
show.
show. Skip Hill, I'm a huge fan of Skip Hill. He knows it, and I try not to be too much of a fanboy around him, not to like weird him out. But he has so much experience and skill and style and like just... Anyway, to have access to him to go smoke on the patio and have him come out to smoke and we just chat. And then I'm like, hey, would you take a look at my painting real quick? And just curious, and have like one of my greats be living like literally just down the hall.
Yeah.
Is massive for me in a career way. That there are all kinds of ways that happens for people, like why community is important. He, not to say this would go anywhere, but he did casually say like, oh, this one, I know a gallery in Chicago that would probably like do well with this kind of art.
That's how it
That's not
works.
why I make the art,
No.
right? But
you're not a poser.
yeah, no, to be clear, I'm not a poser. No, but like the truth is like, I didn't think that.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, chasing this thing. And he and I can like get into that and like talk shop and get like really, and then you get these opportunities where then those things, anyway, it's like this growth thing, right?
The
Like,
only
and
reason
then-
that people move to LA to get discovered is because you could accidentally live in the neighborhood of a director and meet him at coffee and talk about it and get your chance. Like there is a sense of that like proximity does do things, but like people spend so much time going out there and chasing the thing
Right.
instead of like looking what they could actually do like in the neighborhood with the people that they're doing
this
it with.
was the thing I wanted to kind of point out with like the Skip and I relationship is I was so excited about this painting. He and I were just talking about that. We were just like, hey man, I want to talk about color. I've like snuck a secret face in here and flowers, and like, what do you think about that? Because he's in, you know, we can talk like real nerdy, nitty gritty stuff, and he happens to be in other circles that I'm not in. You know, I wasn't at all trying to like get it there, but like we can talk about, and then that inspires him to then go like make something, right? And he's like, oh, that was really, you pulled that off, Trueson, that's impressive, right? That has this feedback that he will then, I think I'm kind of like relating it back to what you were saying of like the scene. There's a thing about a scene where you influence each other to make new stuff that you wouldn't have made had you not had. We see this with all cultures, right? It's like these two cultures had trade, which changed the way their governments form and all that kind of stuff. It's no different with art. But then you also get this opportunity for opportunities. I have things where I can be like, hey, Skip, check this out. I know a place for you to do a thing that can like lead to business.
Well, there's a
vice
difference
versa.
in like you doing life with Skip and Skip knowing you over a period of time and it becoming Skip's idea to help you versus being like, so Skip, you think you can get me into that thing?
Right.
So Skip, what about that one? You know, I think there is a level of like,
well, because
stop like needing it too much and asking for it too much, but also like every artist and producer knows that every other artist and producer wants an opportunity. It's not like you have to remind them that you need an opportunity. They know you need one.
Yeah.
So like quit seeking it, live life, be yourself, show authenticity and
Well, and also like
let them think about it. Like, let it be their
you
idea.
create opportunities by just like doing it. And I
Right.
think that like
Right.
there's
If I didn't have paintings for him to suggest,
yeah.
right? He didn't suggest any of these.
There's an artist
So
that
it's
is
just to
like
say-
there's an artist that is just as talented as Trueson that is not doing anything because they're sitting at home. Well, I don't know anyone that could connect. Why would I even paint? I don't know anyone that could connect me to a gallery in Chicago.
See, and
why,
that,
you know,
that's what I identify as a poser.
well, or it could I think I mean, I have more empathy for that person because
posers are people too. You're just not an artist. I'm just say that. Like, it's okay. Like, either
I would think posers are someone that's making art with the help of AI and pretending that they're not.
well, that's real specific.
well, what I was actually going to
They
say,
can have the talent, but I feel like the real one. Sorry, I'll get off that soapbox.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get
my
it.
self-aggrandizing. I am a great real artist.
Sorry, there's
I'm
no
not
one
a
as
poser.
talented as Trueson.
Yes, let's just be
I'm so
clear
sorry. I
about
beg your
that.
pardon. No, I think the lesson is like living in a way that is like assuming great things will happen, or like the disposition being I have everything that I need, you know, and rather than it's very easy to fall into like the mental trap of like I don't have anything that I need. And like I think that whichever way you choose to move through the world, like you will find evidence of those things. And I think like with regards to like a creative community of your friends, it's like when we're putting together a film, it's like, you know, you could be like, well, like we're gonna have to find some actors, and then maybe we'll have to like go out to LA and recruit someone, and maybe, you know, and it's like this kind of like fundamental belief that like I won't be provided with what I need to like do the project the way that it needs to be done, you know, and even like trusting the blocks of like, you know, like maybe I don't have a friend that could do this, and maybe I don't have a friend of a friend that could do it. Like, well, maybe then that wasn't supposed to be in there, and then that kind of constraint creates a new direction for the project that actually makes it end up being the thing that it needed to be. But to me, it's like really important, like in creative work and in life in general, to try to just like always assume that what is happening is what is supposed to be happening, because you will always find possibility within that, you know, within that mindset.
Preach.
Yep.
Or as our friend Cody says, yes and amen.
Yeah. Yes and amen. Yeah. But I do want to say, like, my feeling on the whole thing is it's valuable. Like, pursue the thing. Like, love the thing, pursue the thing. And if it wouldn't be worth it unless something, then it's okay if it's a hobby. Like, it doesn't have to be a whole goddamn identity. It can just be a thing you enjoy and you play with. Mm-hmm. But if you want to take on the identity role of it, then just start.
But don't you think?
dabbling.
I mean, I'm going to call you out.
Yeah, call me out. Call me out.
Because don't you think that this is a mindset that is like very easy for anyone to slip into? Like, we worked on the Boston Avenue project together, and we had a lot of conversations about the scale of the event, and like. I remember, and like we both did it, but it's like we obviously were drawn to doing an event and the space, and there was like a season where it was like, if we don't pack the place out, if it doesn't make $100,000, then it's not worth doing. Like, and that doesn't mean that we were being posers. That's like, we live in capitalism, and like we all want to make money by doing things that we love, and it's very easy for that impulse to like take over. So I'm just saying, like, this is why I have empathy for the quote unquote poser, because like, all great artists can fall into that same trap of like, you know, again, like you could be the purest actor in the world, but then it's like, oh, the Precious, the Oscar, like, you know, like there's always going to be that thing that you set your sights on to give yourself greater legitimacy. Maybe it's a number of followers. Maybe it's a dollar amount that a painting sells for. Like maybe it is the gallery in Chicago, but it's like, I don't think that there's anyone that is just like, I don't care if I'm purely like 100% of the time, I'm always an artist for art's sake and like nothing else matters, because, you know, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. Like, I don't think that it's a bad thing for artists to try to make money from their art. I don't think that's a bad thing.
I don't do enough Saynt Ego shows. I could do way more. I don't feel like I'm a poser musician though, because I don't do a lot of shows. But I am waiting for it to feel like
you're still pretty good at it, right? Can you still?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's like you've embodied the practice enough that like you've got it in you
to
but
perform a show.
Yeah, you can play because you've put the time in. It's not a matter of like you logged your hours. Like you actually can do it. You can perform, and that's I think the thing is like some people posture that they can perform. They want to perform, so they try to position themselves in a way in life that reflects that they can, but they can't really. And in the case of like us putting on an event at Boston Avenue, we never stopped. Like we still did, and the hope was to like perform kind of in a poserly way, was to like make it this huge thing. And it's like, that's not what I do. I don't know what the fuck, you know what I mean? So like what we ended up doing was
dreaming for it to be that
right.
big
And the version that we put on was like the real, okay, well, what do we really love? What can we really do?
Well, I think it speaks to like, if art is about creative expression and like on some level, like we want others to see us, right? Or we want to experience ourselves through our own creative expression. That's also like a really pure impulse. But it's like, I'm expressing something, I want to be received. I think it's like very natural to want more people to receive. And I think it's like, it is something to keep your eye on in terms of like the egoic attachment to like being as successful as possible and making that the main thing. But I don't think that it's, like, I think that that's like a really healthy, creative, like impulse to be like, I have something to say. I have a message.
I think there's like the blessed unrest that like Martha Graham talks about is one thing to like scale and pursue and to continue and to grow and to strive. That's what I call like the blessed unrest. I feel like there's another version of that though, which is like the posturing. So in a case of like, we had our creative meeting where we're like, what are the things, your priorities in this project? And one of them for me was clout.
Right?
And I was like,
you fucking poser?
Yeah, I was like, dude, I'm here for the clout. Like
there's nothing wrong for desiring credibility that I am good at this.
Yeah.
I can pull this off, and I want to show people that I can do that. There's nothing wrong. It's not
for
like
sure.
a bad
But like in
thing,
the case of that, like I hadn't. I still haven't. So for me to say that I can is still conjecture, right? So I'm conjecturing to the world what I think I'm capable of, and I may be able to, but I have not. I still have not. So anything I'm able to like finesse to make me get to that point where I am able to meet what I'm capable of, that's when the convergence of like, now you're real. You did it, you've been capable, and you actually pull it off. But we often like to live in the world of what we're capable of versus what we actually did. And in the case of business, it's really nice to show people what you're capable of, because then they can meet you and you can have this growth opportunity, right? Where they're like, oh, you're capable of developing A, B, and C. Well, I have an audience and we can make products and collectively both grow. But when it comes to art, that's not the same thing. There's a business version of that where you can be capable of a certain kind of art and meet a producer and like posture that you are doing something you're not. But I think that in the case of like the best art and success and all that, when you have some shit worth paying attention to, people will pay attention. But with art, you can't fake that. So you can get people to pay attention and not have anything worth paying attention to. And like there's an artist, I'm gonna shout him out right now. Scott Taylor was one of those guys. Yeah, who had a lot of attention on him. But like if you looked at his art, it was kind of like, huh, what is it? This is, okay, all right, that is art, those are paintings, but it wasn't some shit that you're like, yo, this guy's in Tulsa? We've got artists like that painting that kind of stuff in, like, no. So he was able to posture himself as a certain kind of guy by doing events and brand deals and creating this kind of story and this narrative, which I dabble in all the time on social media and things of like press and, but like the truth is, the artist I am is the one that's able to do an event where we sold just over 200 tickets and we had less than that actually attend.
I mean, there's a lot of people in Big C that bought his finger paintings. You can't say he's not an artist.
And we can always say like, this is not for me. I didn't love it. I didn't resonate with it, without a value judgment on like the quote unquote, because like, I mean,
hold on. There are some people there's some people who spray painted on top of the graffiti I have, and that shit is genuinely like, don't do it.
Yeah.
I discourage you, do not do it.
There's some people that I love to encourage all people, but I'm hitting a level where I'm like,
That's also destruction. That's destroying someone else's art.
yeah, and
You
like
know?
there is a way to kind of like play in there and navigate it if you do it right, but some people just want attention. And I think it's this difference of like maybe
That's it. Is you're making the art for an attention-seeking purpose, or is it something that you are inwardly interested in exploring and expressing? I think, isn't that similar to what Joseph Campbell said about how he would define like pornography? He called it, where he talk about pornography, where he talk about like art that aims to change your mind in some kind of a way, bent toward a specific kind of like issue he considered pornography, something like that. Basically, it's like
I've read a lot of Campbell, but I don't know that one.
this was okay. This is like something I saw on a YouTube interview. But he anyway, whatever. Sorry.
That's
about that.
you know.
Thank you to my welcome to my show. I'll stop.
This was a great conversation. Not all great conversations are great 100% of the time. Sometimes they.
What editing's
sometimes
for? We're in a
sometimes
season of
they'll-
editing right now.
Yeah.
We're in a season of inputs and editing episodes. Will, thank you for coming back on the show. You've already been on the show, but I wasn't the co-host at the time. So selfishly, I wanted you to come back. And I felt like Trueson and I were talking. I'm like, what if we just like, every like 5, 6, however many episodes, let's just have Will back on.
I mean, I'm already going to be here.
He's already
So-
producing. But it's
I
fun
do have
to,
things to say sometimes.
well, like most of our episodes, like which I love, are like we have a guest, and it's like very biographical, and it's like very focused on like that person's story and their creative expression, and like we want to continue to do that. But then it's cool to have you on periodically just to kind of wax philosophic about the nature of whatever. We didn't get to talk about aliens, but we'll save that for next time.
No. Can we run it back?
Oh yeah, just why don't you look at the
Yeah,
camera,
promote
tell
your shit.
everyone where to find you, what you're working on, what all the things that you've listed in your bio are, and yeah.
Well, this is a big release year of a few years of creating and writing. A new Saynt Ego record's coming out this year. I'm very excited. My favorite musical work I've done yet. First 3 singles are out now on Spotify, and more to come. And then our first film is almost finished, and we'll probably do a friends and family invite only in July. But hoping to apply for some festivals and see what the right road is for the film to
We
make
should
the
say
next
it's a
step.
short film. It's not.
It's a short film.
yeah,
It's 26 minutes, and very excited about it. So those are 2 major things coming out. You can follow me at Will Retherford on Instagram and at saynt.ego on Instagram. Those are my 2 main platforms. And yes, thanks for
The
following
Will
along.
Rutherford is for when you're a producer, and the Saynt goes when you're an artist. Is that right?
Yeah, but I'm trying to converge worlds.
great.
So Saynt Rutherford is what I'm going with now.
Nice.
And
Cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Good job.
Sweet. We did it.
love you guys. I'm Will Rutherford, and keep the channel open.